Hey kids, Chris with My Comic Shop Canada here. I've got another unboxing I'm going to do for you from CGC. These are books that I've had returned from CGC probably over the last month or so. And I'm just putting them away now, so I thought I'd share them with you. First one, TMNT number 1. Don't get too excited. This is the 5th printing. That's basically all I can afford. But I've always loved that cover with the red cover and the standard comic book size. So that's a cool book. It's the only TMNT book that I have. This one I like even more than that red cover 5th print number 1. This is the 2nd printing of issue number 4, which is the one that was used for the video game, if you can remember that. The same coloration as for the Nintendo game. So it's a tough one to find, and standard comic book size. Really cool. I'm super happy in 9.4. I'm stoked for that one. Found it in the raw and got it slabbed. Next one is Alan Moore's Swamp Thing number 21. This is the new revised origin of the Swamp Thing. Found it in a perfect condition, sent it in, came back a 9.8. So I'm very happy with that. Nothing wrong with. I love those Alan Moore Swamp Thing runs. It's just a cool bunch of books. This one, ASM 34. This is a Craven cover. Not super happy with the grade. I was hoping for a 6.0, but came back at 5.0. There's some discoloration to it, so I get it. That's just part of my ASM early run here. Trying to get an early run of the first 100 books of ASM, which is not that easy. This one I found while I was down in Texas. I found it in the raw. Paid, I don't know, maybe $100 for it or something, and thought it was in good shape. This is ASM 44, 2nd appearance of the Lizard. Of course, his first appearance is whatever, ASM 6. But this is a nice one in a 7.5. I was super happy with the grade. I love this cover. I'm happy with that. This guy here, Iron Man 54, first appearance of Moondragon. Not super happy with the grade of 5.5. I don't know. I thought it looked better than that, but I think there's a little water stain on it, so that is what it is. 5.5, kind of a shite grade, but it's a cool book anyway. This one I bought raw. I think I got this in Kelowna maybe a couple years ago. Again, trying to get that early ASM run. 6.5, happy with that, white pages. This one's, one of the easier ones to get, number 30. It's not the greatest cover or anything like that, but early ASM nonetheless, can't go wrong. This one I had slabbed. I've got another FF45. I was hoping this would come back 6.5, but it's a 6.0, and that's just fine by me. I love this book. First appearance of the Inhumans. Uncanny X-Men 221, first Mr. Sinister. This is a great key to have. Cool cover. I like the cover, although Mr. Sinister's not on it. 9.6, white pages. It was cheap, so. Again, obviously I was hoping it was a 9.8, but even a 9.6 is okay in some of these modern books, if it's a key. ASM 318, McFarlane cover with the Scorpion. I've always liked this one. I got lucky on this. It came back a nice 9.8 white pages. I'm just trying to get all those McFarlane covers in 9.8s. This one, I actually bought this one already slabbed. So this is the only one out of these I didn't send in. I bought it as a 9.6. Of course, this book was super expensive, and then Kevin Smith's He-Man came out, and all the prices dropped accordingly. Still a great book. You got He-Man, Skeletor, and Superman on the front cover. I mean, how can you go wrong? I love it in a 9.8, but a 9.6 is pretty cool. I'll definitely take that. First Masters of the Universe in comics. I've always liked this one. This is the first appearance of Mystique in Cameo, Miss Marvel 16. I think her first full appearance is 18, but that's a cool book. This one is, I bought this raw a few years ago, finally sent it in. Tomb of Dracula 13. This is the Origin of Blade, which is, you know, a pretty cool Blade key. And a 9.4 white pages, that's a good book. I've always liked this one. I sent this one in, came back in 8.5 white pages. Avengers versus the X-Men. Not the first, I think that was X-Men 9, but it's an early X-Men versus Avengers. It's a cool cover. And yeah, kind of a minor key. This one I was happy with. I thought it'd come back maybe a 6.5 or a 7. It came back a 7.5. The prices on all these Warlock books have absolutely plummeted. But whatever, it's still a cool book. Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, first appearance of him, who later on becomes Warlock, I guess in a cameo. But that's a key book. This one I thought might come back a 9.8. The only reason I sent it in, Detective 468. I always like the Rogers and Terry Austin art. These ones got the calculator on the front cover. I don't believe it's his first appearance, but very high grade. Came back 9.6 white pages. I like this kind of era of detective. Bit of a fan of that. Great classic cover, Moon Knight 29, Bill Sienkiewicz. Very tough to find. I think it's the first Werewolf by Night and Moon Knight meet up. 9.6 white pages, very tough to get in a 9.8. Even a 9.6 I don't think has a huge census population. You know, an all black cover, obviously any tick is going to show. So I was happy to add that to the collection. This one is ASM Annual 6, and I believe it's a reprint of ASM Annual 1. Correct me in the comments below if I'm wrong. I just like the cover, Sinister 6 on the front cover. It was a decent grade. It was a very inexpensive book. Came back a 7.0. You know, for a Silver Age ASM Annual, I was happy to add that to the collection. And then these two books I bought actually raw. I bought these two books raw when I was down in Texas, and they came back. One was a 6.5, which I was really happy with, and a 4.5, which I thought they'd both be around a 5. So this one had some water staining on it, I believe. But, and this one has like a staple, looks kind of like a staple pull, but anyways, they're mid-grade books, but key book, first appearance of Catwoman in the Silver Age. I just like them. I've always liked that cover. Probably the only Lois Lane book that I'd ever buy. This is a cool book. It is a minor key, first appearance of adamantium in comics. So first mention of adamantium, which is of course what Wolverine, his skeleton, is made of. And I like the cover. I think it's cool in the Avengers Mansion there. And yeah, I've just always liked this book. I'd love to have it in a higher grade, but I found this one had it slabbed at a 7.5. And last, but certainly not least, is the Defenders #2. So I'm just trying to get this early Defenders run put together. Came back 7.5 white pages. Like the cover with Surfer bursting out there. I've always been a fan of that one. It's got a lot of black borders, so it is tough to find in really high grade. So that's it. Hope you liked the video. Let me know if you have any comments below, and make sure you subscribe and like.